What's going on, guys? Welcome to the video. Today we are talking rumors. Now before we dive into the camera for today, I want to preface this video just by saying that these are rumors and it's more so to start a conversation and to just pitch ideas that are floating on the internet and ones that I have regarding this specific camera, the Canon M50 Mark II. I've received enough heat to where I feel responsible to say this. I figured it was common sense, but apparently it's not, which is okay because hey, some people are completely aware, but they still just want to watch the world burn. And moving on into the topic of the day, we're talking about a new camera that is rumored to come out sometime this year. Some sites, mostly in January of this year, have had predicted that it would be announced from Canon officially in February of 2020. Clearly, that has not happened, and there have been no new updates on this camera being a thing. I think there's a clear picture or some certain things that we can expect to see from this new and improved beginner mirrorless camera. Now, the M50 was released in February of 2018 alongside the EOS R. Canon excelled in creating two cameras that were really perfect for online content creators, whether they were a bare bones beginner, had no clue what to do. The M50 was definitely for them, targeted specifically at that market. And then for the enthusiast slash professional user who are making videos like these ones, the EOS R is still perfect for that. Clearly, there are some big downsides of getting the M50, such as the 4K crop, losing autofocus in 4K. It's an APS-C camera, so I mean, people feel a certain way about that. The pretty horrendous dynamic range. You can tell that it's a very cheap camera, but there certainly are a lot of benefits and pros that this cheap little package offered. And I think Canon is going to continue to build off of that for their version 2 of the M50. As far as pricing goes, it's expected to sit below the current flagship model of their EOS M series, the M6 Mark II. That one costs about $850, and the original M50 costs about $680. So you can expect that the M52 will sit somewhere on the lower end between those two prices. One advantage that's guaranteed in the M52 is a newer and faster processor, probably a similar processor or the same one that will be included in Canon's R6 and R5 cameras. I can't see them straying away from the form factor of it with that flip LCD screen and the very small compact body, just because Canon has received a lot of positivity regarding those areas. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So the touchscreen is still probably going to be a 3-inch vari-angle 1.04 million dot screen, and there have been no updates as far as what the EVF is going to look like, the autofocus system, or the battery life, although I would expect improvements in all of those areas, maybe with an exception of the EVF. The one thing that might happen with battery life is if they choose to keep it in a similar sized body, and they do give it some extra features, some extra oomph as far as what the specs can do, it's going to draw more power from the battery, so they might have to update the battery. One thing that some Canon patents have shown is that for future full frame and APS-C sized mirrorless cameras, they might have a technique that can make them smaller. And that is to take the shutter motor and move it from its usual place next to the battery compartment to beneath the shutter assembly. It's not a huge change, and it probably won't be very noticeable on the M50 Mark II just because its predecessor is already so small and light in the hands. If you've ever held an M50, it feels like a toy. It's crazy. Since Canon has figured out a way to make their APS-C mirrorless M series cameras shoot in full width 4K, although it is pixel binned from approximately a 2.7K like image, and it's very soft and unideal, and there are artifacts, a lot of things wrong with it. But since they figured out how to kind of do that, I would expect that it would be implemented and improved upon in the M50 Mark II. So that means you're probably going to have full readout 4K. And if you use a speed booster, boom, 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 you'll be able to bring that 1.6 crop to around a 1.14 crop, making it almost full frame. So this could be a great candidate for doing online videos for YouTube. The site that I did see said that you can expect uncropped 4K 30p. So who knows if they're gonna have 24 frames per second built into the Canon M50 Mark II right off the bat, or if they will have to release a firmware update like 5 months after it's dropped to the public, which that would be very annoying. I'm already not gonna buy the M50 Mark II when it comes out because that would be a step down from my EOS R. I think one of the only major pros over the EOS R that the M50 Mark II is rumored to have is that it will be a full HD, so 1080p image with 120 frames per second. Now, seeing Canon's 120p performance on the EOS M6 Mark II, there's a pretty high chance that it won't be able to record audio and that you will lose your autofocus in that mode. So it'll be interesting to see how this is positioned against some of Canon's other cameras and how it will stack up to the M6 Mark II. I've spent quite a bit of time with that camera and I was very impressed with it overall. I think the major things that will just drive me away from this camera are the lack of native lenses and kind of being forced to speed boost if I want to get the image that I'm most happy with. And also just the low amounts of dynamic range. I think dynamic range is just what makes or breaks cameras as far as if they can be used for professional gigs or not. And Lord knows if it's gonna have 1, 2, or 1/2 of a card slot. But that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about it or predictions or sources that you guys have found regarding this camera, throw them in the comment section below. And also if you'd like to be featured in my next video, make sure to drop a comment there, or if you just want to start a conversation. Scott commented on my last video. The last video featured him in it. It was us trying the Athlean X perfect home workout, and that was pretty brutal. I threw up from it. I'm still sore. It's like 3 days later, and he said, "So did you try the second workout?" I was burning for a full day after this one for sure. Yeah, dude, I'm like freaking sore. Everything hurts. I'm going to try the second workout today. Hopefully I'm better prepared for it, and I certainly won't go in guns blazing just because that was kind of suicide last time. But definitely fun. I'm going to keep up with this program because I think it can yield a lot of gains and benefits. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Share it with your friends if you found any of this information to be interesting or useful. Again, we're just talking rumors here, so nothing too serious or legitimate. And I'm excited to see what this camera will be capable of when it is announced in apparently September of 2020. And we'll see you later.